What if I told you I could build you an entire voice-controlled smart home for only £289.71 that included 2 smart speakers, 5 individual controllable plug sockets, 4 individual mains light switches, which are dimmable, a thermostat, and the control of 2 separate televisions in 2 separate rooms, and the ability to change TV channels? You'd say I was mental. Well, baba booey, because I've flipping well done it. Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly how I would do it if I was starting over. Wait a minute. Yes, it is. I'm a cheap bastard. I would do it exactly like this because I made this same video 2.5 years ago, and I'm looking at the marketplace now, looking at the prices of things, looking at the reliability of stuff, and how robust everything totally isn't. And this particular way of working is actually both the cheapest and the most robust way of doing this. I'm going to be using for this entire project just one protocol, and it's not Wi-Fi, and it's not Zigbee, it's RF. At some point in the last 10 years, human beings said, I don't want to press switches anymore, I have a mouth. I think you should point your mouth hole at the Echo Flex. And the reason I've picked the Echo Flex is because, well, duh. But not only that, it's because there's no sense in spending good money on one of the more expensive Amazon Echo products when you could just buy one of these and plug it into your existing equipment. You could plug this into your AV receiver, or even Bluetooth it to a soundbar or a decent set of Bluetooth speakers. Do yourself a favour, get the Echo Flex. Scratch that, buy 2. This is an RF plug socket. It isn't a smart device, it's a dumb device. It's the smart home equivalent of this guy. The consequence is, it's ludicrously cheap. They cost this much money for a pack of 5 and come with a remote control. And this is where true resilience comes into play. This is the only product on the market that even if your router has gone kaput, your smart home hub is on fire, none of that matters. You still don't have to get off your arse. You probably should. Things in your house are on fire. But you won't need to if you don't want to, because these buttons will still operate these sockets regardless. This is the best piece of smart home equipment you'll probably ever buy, because it only costs this much money and it turns dumb things into smart things. You can basically have it sit between either Google Home or She That She Not Be Named and turn your rubbish RF plug sockets into magical smart home devices. You can also have it control things like your television or your set-top box or your AV receiver. If you have a basic infrared device that uses an infrared remote, the Broadlink RM Pro can also control those things, because not only does it use RF to communicate, it can also use infrared to communicate too. This is the key to having a cheap smart home. If you go looking for one of these things, you'll find an RM Pro, an RM Pro 2, an RM Pro Plus. They're all the same. Buy the new RM Pro! No wait! Buy the new RM Pro 2! No wait! Buy the new RM Pro Plus! No wait! Buy the new RM 4! This one has a red base. This one has a black base. This one's really bloody shiny. They're literally exactly the same device. Do me a favour, don't go searching for it. Just use the link in the description. I have found you the cheapest one. The RF switch that I'm recommending will allow you to use your voice to turn it on and off, which is awesome. What it won't let you do, sadly, is set the brightness by percentage. This is a limitation of RF, and it's one of the reasons I was talking about as to why you might want to try the Wi-Fi's and the Zigbee things. There's a whole video. I mentioned that. Go check that out. There is a temptation to buy smart home bulbs. This will result in you burying your missus under the patio. Because what she'll do is she'll walk into the room, she'll flick it off at the light switch, and then your smart home bulb is useless. You can't reach it anymore using your voice. Use the link in my description and buy the switch I'm recommending. If you buy the wrong switch, you will seriously regret it. This is a minefield. If you buy, for example, a switch from a Lavolo, which a lot of people say is a great RF switch, you're going to end up with a switch that toggles on and off with its remote. There's just one button. Because there is only one button to train to She That She Not Be Named, this means if that switch is off and you ask her to switch the switch off, she'll switch it on. Because it's just toggling the switch on and off via the same frequency. It's super important that your light switch has a separate frequency for on and a separate frequency for off so that you can program both into She That She Not Be Named and have her control them independently. The Broadlink RM Pro can control devices all over your house if they are RF based. What it can't do is control TVs all over the house, because infrared is different from RF and cannot pass through walls. It's not magic. So the problem with this is you now need to buy a secondary Broadlink device, but there's no sense in buying another Broadlink RM Pro because they make a little brother option. The little brother can only do infrared and it's called a Broadlink Blackbean. If you stick that in the bedroom, you now have control of the TV up there too. Awesome. You've just found 10 different versions of it on Amazon, haven't you? Stop looking on Amazon, start using my links. Unfortunately, again, this is a product that they've released over and over, and very recently have released a beautiful looking version of it that costs more money that does exactly the same thing. Just buy the cheaper version. I have a Nest thermostat, like some kind of thermostat emperor. Dark side. Don't be a thermostat emperor. They're far too expensive and they're ridiculously bad at what they do. Whatever room I put it in, the thermostat is like, oh, it's cold in here. No, it isn't. And I'll put it in another room and it'll go, oh, blimey, it's warm. It doesn't matter where I put it. It's just putting my boiler on or turning my boiler off at all the wrong times. It gets it wrong constantly. This thing is the cheapest possible thermostat that I can find that is well reviewed. I've done a lot of research and it looks pretty good. It uses the Toya Smart Life platform. And I can see my regular viewers now going, ooh, the Toya Smart Life. Yes, I hate them. I am not a big fan of them right now. But if you want to connect a thermostat to either Google Home or She That She Not Be Named, you can't go wrong at this price tag. Total shopping list then is 2 Echo Flexi, what's the plural of flex? I don't care. 5 RF plug sockets, 4 RF dimmable light switches, 1 smart thermostat, a Broadlink RM Pro for controlling your TV and all of the above RF devices, and a Blackbean for controlling your other TV because I assume you only have 2. There are 3 things that Zigbee owners now will be putting in my comment section for this video. The first one is, RF isn't secure. Yes, it is. If somebody wants to try and control my light switch and my plug sockets using an RF remote, they're gonna have to stand at my front door. RF doesn't go far enough for this to be a concern. Stop it. The second thing they'll be saying in the comments section is this: RF can't report its state. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. They're right. RF cannot report its state. This means that if you say to She That Should Not Be Named or Google Home, is the downstairs light on, the answer will be this. Because RF isn't smart, it's not actually a smart technology, therefore you can't say, is the light off. The third thing they'll say is, oh, the Zigbee! 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 And I just... Unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as just saying one is better than the other. There are advantages to each type of implementation. The advantage to this one is it costs the least amount of money. If you want to know what I would actually be going for if I was starting from scratch, there's another video here which will give you some indication as to what those advantages are if you're interested. If you just want the cheapest possible implementation, you can't go wrong with this setup. If you're looking to start out for the very first time, this is actually a really good starting point because the Broadlink RM Pro and the Broadlink Blackbean are 2 things that I would recommend to you anyway, and everything else is just ultra cheap. So this is a great starting point and nobody can argue with that. Yes, they can. People are dicks. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. That'll tell YouTube's algorithms it was a good video. More people should see it. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. If you ding the bell, it lets YouTube know that you want to be notified when I upload videos. These amazing people here are my patrons from Patreon, and they honestly keep me making these videos. Without these guys, you wouldn't be watching me right now. If you want to be one of those, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I'll love you forever. These are my social medias, my Facebooks, my Twitters, and my Instagrams. Come and hang out there, and we can be best friends, I promise. See you next time. A thermostat and bollocks, I don't remember. Now I'm not saying necessarily that this is a... Now I'm not saying that this is a... Bloody hell, Paul. No, I'm not saying this is as oh my god. No, I'm not saying that this is as I can't do it. No, I'm not saying this is as oh, the bed. I can't, that's so off, I can't say it. Please, for the love of God, stop asking me. Stop asking me. That's weird. You're a weirdo.